Hi, I'm Clate Mask, and on the Conquer the Chaos podcast, I talk with inspiring business owners about what it takes to build a great business and a great life. That means more money, more time, more control, more impact, more freedom. So keep listening to hear the tough lessons they learned so you don't have to repeat them. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of the Conquer the Chaos podcast. I am your host, Clate Mask, and I am here today with a guest that many of you know, and one that I'm excited to talk about some upcoming changes and really cool things that are happening in the world of Conquer the Chaos. So Matt Vosburgh is with me today. Matt, thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you, Clay. It's a thrill to be here with you. It's my favorite podcast.
Well, I feel like you've been the wizard behind the curtain for a while, and now we get to bring you out in front.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Call me Oz.
Yes, that's right. So, by the way, just saw Wicked a couple nights ago. It was good. It was good. So, a couple of things that some people know, some of our listeners know that you've been for the last 6 months or so. You've been helping to produce the podcast. You've been um, thought partnering with me on a bunch of different things as you are working in your coaching business and using Conquer the Chaos, the 6 keys to success. Today, I'm really excited because we've got a fun announcement that we get to share, and I am excited to announce that Matt Vosburgh is now the brand ambassador for Conquer the Chaos, and as such, he will be carrying on the Conquer the Chaos podcast. So this is in effect a handing of the torch to Matt to lead the Conquer the Chaos podcast. I'm sure he'll invite me back on occasion, and I'm sure that he's going to bring amazing guests. But we're going to talk in this episode about Conquer the Chaos, the podcast going forward, what we're doing, why we're making this adjustment, and enabling Matt to step up and lead the podcast. So, Matt, welcome. Let's talk.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. This is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I've been an entrepreneur, freelancer, if you will, for going on 25 years now, and so. In addition to working with you at Infusionsoft, Keep, and it's now Thrive, and all of the great things that we've gotten to do, and the amazing partners and small businesses we've gotten to work with. I'm super excited to be able to bring all of my experience and all the things that you've packed into this amazing, powerful message in Conquer the Chaos, bringing it in a new way, continuing the awesome message, and all of that. Just to say that the Conquer the Chaos message for me has been so powerful because it's been the 6 keys are things that I've found very acutely I need in my life, right? And so I've seen these things working in my life and in the lives of the entrepreneurs that we serve. And so, I just couldn't be more thrilled to be able to have this opportunity to come and bring the message in a new big way, and continue to carry the torch that you've lit here, Clayton. It's just such an honor and such an amazing opportunity.
Well, it was, when we started working together on this 5 months ago, we felt like this could be one of the paths if we wanted to go this direction. But there were a lot of different people that could have been good ambassadors for this brand and to carry it forward. And, the reason I chose you was simply your experience with the keys and your passion for them. I've watched you apply them. I've watched you apply the personal keys in your life, and I've seen the impact it's made. I've watched you practice the business keys with our partners. You've obviously been in the middle of Keep for Infusionsoft, Keep, Thrive for, I don't know, 12, 13 years. I don't know what the number of years. It's been a lot of years. And so you've been in the middle of it for a long time, but it's your entrepreneurial fire and passion to go practice it personally. And I think that's, what I've watched you do. A lot of people have practiced the keys, and I've seen the impact in their lives. You have the passion of practicing them, of doing the business side of it, both individually in your own business, as well as in a larger company at Infusionsoft, as we help many partners and customers practice the keys. And your passion to take the baton and run with this podcast is really exciting to me, because I love this podcast. I love the work we do. I love getting the messages from people about the impact that it's made. And so, I think congratulations are in order to say, congratulations for being the right person to run with this.
Thank you. I'll accepted. Yeah. So, something that stands out to me in this too is, um, it, this message that you've, brought and packaged into this wonderful book. It comes from a place of genuine caring, right? And
It
it's
does.
nice for us to say that about ourselves, that we care about other people, but this message, this system, like, gives us a way to really demonstrate that care, right? And so, when you come alongside somebody and say, hey, uh, uh, what's up with your identity? Right? What's up with your purpose in life, right? And really really helping them to uncover that for themselves, and to be able to then have a plan to leverage that purpose, to leverage that identity, and to turn it into something greater that then extends to more people beyond them, right? And so
Yeah.
it's not just
Well, what
like how to
happens
run
is,
your business better.
yeah, and most of the time when I'm counseling with entrepreneurs, and I choose that word carefully. I didn't say coaching, because a lot of times it starts with counseling.
Yeah.
And they come to me, and they're hurting, they're in pain, they're struggling with, sometimes it's the thrill of the success, but it's eating them up in different ways. And other times it's the challenge of not meeting their goals and not achieving what they want. Whichever the case, they're usually really struggling. They're having a lot of pain, and they don't recognize. They don't come and say, "I think I need to work on my identity," or "I think I've got a challenge with my personal purpose." And so they don't identify the sources. You have to peel back the layers of the onion. But the reason the book exists is because of the countless conversations I've had over 25 years with entrepreneurs, and become deeply acquainted with the dark side of entrepreneurship, as I call it in the book, deeply acquainted with the imbalance, uh, deeply acquainted with the frustrations that burn inside of entrepreneurs when their dreams of freedom are clashing with the captivity of chaos. And when they're in that place, they're a lot of times they're just gasping for air, and it's tough. And so when Scott and I wrote the original book 15 years ago, it was after spending many years seeing how the business keys could make a difference. And we put a little bit into the mindset side of it, but we didn't have the experience yet counseling and coaching and working with and teaching entrepreneurs to be able to really break it down on the personal side and say, okay, look, we got to get our identity, our purpose, our values, our mission. We got to get our goals. We got to get those fundamental things in place. Then you can create a plan for life out of those, with those goals. But if we don't get the vision right, starts with the mindset, and then getting the vision right, then we can't really execute a plan effectively. It just gets trumped by our business, our business needs. So, I appreciate that it, you've lived it. That's probably why I gravitated toward you to lead this more than anything else, because a lot of people have lived the business side of it. A lot of people have lived the three business keys of strategy, automation, and leadership, but not as many have deeply lived the personal side of it, the purpose, the mindset, the vision, and the rhythm of execution. And when you get deep into that side, and really practice the transformative habits of waking up early, the three transformative habits: waking up early, weekly winning, and quarterly planning. These are the keys. It's like you do these things, and I call it keys for a reason. It really does unlock the capabilities that lead to great accomplishments in life. And so I just appreciate your passion for and your practice, you being a practitioner in particular of the personal keys to success of mindset, vision, and rhythm.
Yeah. Well, um, continuing to dig in on those. They're, it's a never ending process. I think.
It's a mountain without a top.
That's right. That's right.
That's what my
Yeah.
coach said to me all the time when I was, when I went to weekly coaching with Steve while we were in the thick of it, leading the company. He would say all the time when I was working on stuff, and I'd be like, "Gosh, I just feel like I'm constantly working on this stuff. I'm not getting any better. It's slow progress." He's like, "Mountain without a top. It's just
Yeah.
you just keep working at it." And I can attest after, you know, 15 years of working on with coaching, 15 years of really um, teaching this conquer the chaos. It's been 15 years since we started teaching it, which is amazing. Some things you can only see with time, and it takes time for the seeds we plant to blossom. It takes time for the the disciplines that we practice to yield incredible fruit. It takes time for the transformative habits that we ingrain into ourselves. It takes time for those things to translate into the dreams and things that we want. And I've watched that in so many people that have practiced these keys. I've certainly experienced it and enjoyed it. You've seen it. And all that's to say, it when people need the keys, they're usually not coming with clarity on those keys. And so that's why we've packaged it up and put it together the way we have. And I'm excited for the podcast to continue on and to impact people's lives at the intersections when they're feeling super frustrated and they come across an episode or a guest that says things in a way that makes a difference for them. And that's probably the most valuable thing I love about this podcast is hearing people that share those experiences when we've been able to make an impact.
Yeah. Yeah. It is exciting. And, the growth, like you said, it's a mountain without a top. Um, you know, it's not linear either, right? The growth is not linear. Like, I can't tell you the number of times I've felt like I've like got this thing down, right?
Yeah,
This particular habit or whatever it is. And then, a week goes by and it's like, oh shoot, I've kind of slipped on that thing. I need to get back into that rhythm
yeah,
and back to it.
yeah.
So it's
Well, and it's
constantly exercising those habits and not just locking it in once and done.
Yeah, they're practices. I talk about this over and over in the book. These are practices. We practice them, and like you said, things change. Life happens. You get your morning mastery nailed, and then your child's school time changes the next year, and now everything gets out of whack, or now your spouse's schedule has adjusted, and you've got to accommodate that and make compromises and find your new normal. And it's if it's not something personally that adjusts, it's something in the business that adjusts. Now you've lost this particular employee or leader, and you've got to step in and do different. Things are always changing, and that's why we're practicing the keys. We practice them, we work at them, we get better at them. And it's not something that you just, okay, I got that, check, I'm done. It's this is but I would also say it's these three keys of mindset, vision, and rhythm. They are just a great recipe for living a really fulfilled life. And it so happens that we've applied them in the context of entrepreneurship. But I've had lots of people in different walks of life who have said, "Hey, you should write Conquer the Chaos for blank because it works for them too." And I'm not an entrepreneur, but I use it for this. And my weekly winning is totally important to me, but I'm not an entrepreneur. So why don't you write this? And I'm like, well, I'm actually going the other way right now. I'm niching down, not expanding
Yeah.
out. And by the way, we should
Smart.
probably talk about that because that's really the impetus for why you're taking over the lead on the Conquer the Chaos. Let's be clear: Conquer the Chaos is not going away. I'm not going away. What's happening is my work has niched down to software entrepreneurs. And we talked about this at the beginning of season 2, said, hey, I'm getting deeper and deeper into software entrepreneurs. And so I'm getting totally focused on software entrepreneurs. And we are, doing content and doing a lot of coaching and a lot of work for the Phoenix Forward software founders, as well as my one-on-one coaching work that I do. So between leading Phoenix Forward, and there's 600 software companies in Phoenix, about 60 of them are in our coaching program. And so I lead those that coaching program in group formats, and then I have about 10 one-on-one coaching clients that I work with. So my work life is not nearly as busy as it once was, which I'm very grateful for. I feel very light still these days. It's incredibly fulfilling, but it does take my time and it takes my focus. And being totally focused, niching down to software entrepreneurs is the reason why we're making this adjustment. General entrepreneurship will always be near and dear to my heart, um, but I've put everything into the book, and that's where people can get it, and people can get more from the podcast here. But my direct client work is one on one, and then the group coaching with software founders in Phoenix.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I think, I believe, and I think that this path forward for you, the engaging with these SaaS founders and entrepreneurs in the way that you are, um, really is, I think, the most powerful way for you to apply the principles that are in the book. And to your point, it's all in the book.
Yeah.
We can now take the principles and we can go and share them and get this message out to many people. I've said to you many times, this book should be in the hands of every elementary and middle schooler in the world, and I'm quite serious about that, and not just because of the personal keys, but the business keys. Um, the world is changing, and the ability for someone to go and get a degree and get a job like they could 20, 30 years ago, it's the world's changing. People are needing entrepreneurial skills today and in the future more than they ever have in the past. And I think this book, helping people to get balance in their life, but also find avenues for them to really take hold and take control of their own financial destiny, their
Yeah.
professional career. And I think there's some real serious opportunity there too. But
Well, you know how
yeah,
much I love entrepreneurship. I mean, it's I have so much passion for it for the reasons you just mentioned. It's the way for people to change, their it's the best way for people to change their economic situation. And they have to take ownership of it and recognize that their what happens in their life is a direct result of what they're looking at in the mirror, and that's the only place to look. And that's why I love entrepreneurship, because it requires us to take responsibility and accountability, and then when we do, we can go make incredible things happen. So I need to say also, I'm grateful for you, Matt, because I this choice was a hard choice, as you know. Like, I wrestled with this over the last couple of months because I love this work so much, and I'm continuing to do the work with software entrepreneurs, but I felt pulled and I felt torn because I want to do the work with general entrepreneurs. But what's happened is, as you know, and I'll share with everybody, as I've done this work with software entrepreneurs, it's become so deeply fulfilling and so impactful and so powerful, both the one-on-one work and the group work I do, which all of that group work rolls into a broader vision for us to make Phoenix a top software city over the next decade. The way we've done with the way you've seen happen in Salt Lake or Denver or Austin, some of these other tier 2 cities. We're not trying to be Silicon Valley here in Phoenix, but we are trying to be a great tier 2 software city. And so we have a purpose, our values, our mission at Phoenix Forward. We have a BHAG of making this happen over the next 10 years. And I realized that to really make that happen, I needed to pour into these Phoenix software founders. I needed to be more focused, and I hate I hate the note. I was wrestling with, and I couldn't accept the notion that general entrepreneurship was becoming a distraction for me because I love it so much. So I, I didn't want to let go of that. But that's, truthfully, that's what led to this decision was my my excitement for what we're doing with Phoenix Software Founders, because I could balance my one-on-one work and the general entrepreneurship. That I'd been doing it for a while. That I could do that. It was as the Phoenix Forward purpose, values, mission, as that vision got bigger and got more clear to me as we've been working on that over the the course of this year. It just became apparent to me that I needed to practice what I've preached so many times and niche down and get really focused, say no to things that are really good so that I can yet say yes to the things that are better and best. And that's really one of the secrets of life is, there's a lot of good, better, and best, and we got to say no to the things that are good so we can do the better, and then eventually say no to the things that are better so we can only do the best. And I feel so blessed and fortunate because that's what I'm getting to do with software founders, but it is painful to do. It's painful to let go of the general entrepreneurship podcast that I love so much. As you know, I'm not letting go of the speaking. I still speak. I do a lot on the book still, and will continue to do that. I'm certainly giving out books to software founders all the time, as well as anyone who asks me about different things on entrepreneurship. I'm telling them, look, go get the book, go get the book, go get the book.
Such a great book. Yeah, and when you shared with me, a few weeks back that you were really niching down, you were focusing. Um, I can't tell you how truly excited I was, uh, for no other reason other than Clate is fully applying the principles that we've been teaching here. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Like it's yeah, it's exactly what you want. It's almost like here we go.
Yeah,
They
I
say
really live
don't meet
this
your
stuff.
heroes, right? Um, this was like I was like, oh, there's my hero doing the thing that I would hope my hero would do, right? And really get
Oh, that's
focused
nice.
and get that clarity. So,
That's
um,
kind of you. Thanks.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, this is what we're here for: is to help each other find the way to more balance, more success, more freedom, right?
Yep.
And it's not always clear. And a lot of times there are different paths to go down, and you got to pick one, and um,
Yep.
but coming together with other people to to get that validation, to continue to be fed, and to have community to connect. That's another major part of what we're doing here is helping to bring people together. So you're not out there trying to figure it out alone on your own. You've got people who've been there and who can help you to not trip over your own feet as much.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, this is part of it too. Is we're going to continue bringing content and guests, but also some unique content that's going to help our listeners, our viewers to really implement this stuff in their own life, in their own business. And so yeah, like I
So
said,
let's talk about that a little bit because, we've talked about why what we're doing and why, both from your perspective and from my perspective. But let's talk about the future of the Conquer the Chaos podcast. What you're planning, what you'll be doing. Certainly you'll invite me back on occasion, and I'll be happy to do that. But why don't you talk about the format going forward? Going forward, the content that you touched on, because as you and I have talked about, we're Conquer the Chaos is very much thriving, and we're going to keep pushing it out into the world. And although we're going to have a new host that's doing that. This is going to be an exciting next step for us. So talk a little bit about that.
yeah. So we will definitely continue, focusing on the six keys as we have. I mean, that is the foundation of everything we're talking about here. And so we'll with that, we'll dive into the book and continue, bringing guests on. And so the format that you're used to, that's going to continue. But we're going to bring in some fresh content, really pulling tactics and principles out of the book and out of the conversations we're having, and bringing it in a format that, a training, if you will, kind of format, right? So we'll have some little bits of content, maybe 5, 10, 20 minutes, whatever, where you can come and tap into, how do I apply that ABC method? Or, how do I, really, look at my hiring process, or whatever it is. We're going to get tactical in the weeds. But it's not all going to be tactical, point and click kind of stuff like that. We're going to get into some philosophical, spiritual stuff, if you will. Really, really talk about your purpose, mindset, values, those things that really are the engine and the fuel that makes you who you are and how you show up in the world. So,
I think
yeah,
people can
a
probably
lot of fun.
understand as they hear you talking, they can understand why I'm excited about this and why you're the right person to do it. There are so many little lessons and nuggets in the book that we just haven't been able to dig into because it takes time. It takes more time than I've had, and so I'm really excited for you to take that and run with it. You talked about the ABC method. We can, it's such a micro part of the book, and yet it's such a critical thing to do every day and to cultivate that practice. And there's hiring, there's so many different things. One of the things people say to me after reading it is they're like, wow, there's a lot in that book. I'm like, I know. I tell people throughout the book, there are times where I'm like, look, don't get overwhelmed. I'm putting everything into this book because this is what people have asked me about over the years, and I want to just put over 2 decades of experience helping entrepreneurs into the book. But there are so many different things that you're going to be able to dig into practically, and little trainings and micro lessons. And then there's a spiritual part of it too that you'll be able to dig into. So I'm really pumped for you to do that, and excited to see you break down a lot of the nuggets that are in the book and making them more valuable and consumable for people.
Well, I'm excited too. I appreciate it. And yeah, we've got guests lined up already. We're continuing to bring more episodes, and yeah, we're gonna have a ton of new stuff in the new year. But yeah, I'm just super excited and thrilled to get to continue on this journey with you, Clate, and with all the amazing partners and entrepreneurs that we have in our world. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's next, and this is just such a great time, and I'm excited to see what comes out of all the mischief you're getting into with these SaaS founders.
There's good stuff happening. We're pretty excited about it. Well, thanks, Matt. Again, I think it's both thanks and congratulations. You're going to take this to the next level, which I'm really excited about, and looking forward to, you know, continuing to be a part of it in a little bit different way. But with you taking the baton, we're poised for great things as you dig in deeper into the book and make it more practical, more actionable, as well as inspiring for people. We've always aimed to inspire people through this, and I think we've generally done that, and you'll be able to do it even more. So excited about it.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you, Clate. I guess since you're
You get to
passing the
close us
baton,
out.
I should sign us off here. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, friends, thank you for joining us. And until next time, continue to work on those 6 keys, conquer the chaos in your business, in your life, and keep serving, keep going, keep growing. Till next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much for listening. Subscribe right here on YouTube or in your favorite podcast app to make sure that you don't miss a single episode of the Conquer the Chaos podcast. And hey, if you like this episode, let's get this out to more entrepreneurs. We all know that it is not easy to grow a great business and a great life. And so let's get this message out to others. Make sure that you hit the like button, that you comment, and that you share it with others so that we can help other entrepreneurs build a great business and a great life as they conquer the chaos. Keep going, keep serving, and keep growing.